Mindful Life Practice.
Okay, so I think all of you guys have done this class before. You know what to expect. We're going to be moving through our foundations yoga practice, which is a beginner style class. So you can come to your comfortable seat, either on a cushion or on your chair. And we'll start our practice with a little bit of a meditation on the breath. So finding your comfortable seat. Let your body be relaxed and your spine straight. And then just rest your hands face down on the knees or on the thighs. You can close your eyes and just let yourself settle into a stillness. And try to experience an effortless lift through the spine. The spine is almost like a stem of the flower that supports its blossom. The spine just supports the skull. Now, as we're sitting here, just focus on creating a steady and even and a gentle tide of breath. And as your body becomes still and your mind becomes relaxed, you might notice that the breath becomes relaxed. And then take just a few minutes settling into this relaxed state of stillness of the body and steadiness of the breath. Begin now to focus your mind on observing the breath as it enters and exits the nostrils. See if you can observe this tide of breath just like you'd observe the tide of the ocean. When you're sitting on the beach. Be present with whatever you experience. And if the mind wanders, don't be disappointed. Just try to return your attention to the breath as it enters and exits the nostrils. And I'm going to quit my WhatsApp so that you don't hear those alerts. And it's always a good reminder when my WhatsApp goes off to remind you to turn your phone off. Because we hear bings and bongs and pings and pongs all day and we don't need to hear it right now. We're going to maintain in this stillness for just about a minute. Just observing how the body feels and how the mind feels. And most importantly in this, be patient with yourself. Maintaining concentration on anything like the breath is difficult, and that's okay. And even when I'm attending a yoga class, my mind wanders away too. Just guide your awareness back to the breath and begin again. Now on your next inhale, you're going to circle both palms up overhead. And then interlace your palms, push your palms up towards the sky, and then take it into a lateral side bend. So palms are reaching over to the right. If this is too much for your shoulders, you can always modify to how we did the side bend last week, okay? Take your palms all the way up, and then side bend the opposite way. Come all the way back through center, and then take your turn the opposite way. So left palm on right thigh. And then move all the way back through center, and let's twist the opposite way. Let's come all the way back, unwind. If you're sitting on a cushion or something, just move it to the side. And we're gonna drop into our first child's pose, which is called balasana. So hips are on the heels, forehead rests. Now I know that this posture is not comfortable for everyone. I used to think that it was. And I had an ex-boyfriend who had like a terrible knee injury and had like tight hips, and he would be like wincing in this pose. That was Antonio, Dad. So if this pose is not comfortable for you, please take a pose like anything else, like come to sit on your chair, lie on your back. The meaning of this pose is supposed to be like nourishing and replenishing, but if your knees or your hips are screaming out in pain, then just modify, don't do it, okay? And let's stay in our child's pose for like just a couple more rounds of breath, and I'm gonna invite you to set an intention. Today in my earlier yoga classes, we were talking about Abhyasa in the Yoga Sutras, which in English translates to practice. And it basically can be interpreted as like having a commitment to your practice. So if you want to take that intention, I am committed, feel free. Or maybe it's something else, I'm connected, I'm present, whatever. Give it one more breath. And then just take your inhale, come all the way up into a tabletop pose. And we're gonna move through some cat-cow flows. So inhaling, tilt your pelvis, lift your heart. This is your cow. And then exhale, curl and coil and contract, finding your cat. And then let's keep moving with this rhythm. So we are extending the spine and we're flexing the spine as we do this. Just kind of like warming up the spine in lots of different ways. Come all the way back into neutral. Take your right palm up towards the sky, big stretch. And then thread your right arm under and lay onto your right shoulder and your right cheek, and let your right arm be heavy, and take a few breaths. And then come all the way back. And then let's thread the opposite way. Left arm lifts all the way up. Thread your left arm all the way under, land onto your left cheek, your left shoulder. And then let's stay here for one more inhale, one more exhale. Then come all the way back up through your table. Let's warm up through your wrists. So you can choose, you can take your fingertips out to the side. Maybe you turn them all the way back if your wrists are flexible enough and rock back and forth. So I think I mentioned this last week. I think one of the most common injuries in yoga is our wrists. We dump a lot of our weight there when we should be evenly distributing our weight on our palms and on our fingers and knuckles. So let's just rotate our palms all the way back now. And I want you to concentrate on spreading through your palms, pressing down through the fingers, connecting the knuckles. And then tucking the toes up and back and lifting up to your first downward facing dog. This is your Adho Mukha Shavasana. You can bend one knee and bend the next. And I want you to almost imagine that you're like rotating your arms so that your shoulders are coming in and you're hiding your armpits, if that makes any sense. We have this tendency to just like have our arms as neutral, and then this pose turns into a bit of a back bend. But if you try to rotate your upper arms inward, you're like closing off the space between the shoulder blades. And if you're not doing this rotation, then you kind of dump through your back. Okay, so it's just like a way to engage the arms. I might have to make a little tutorial video explaining this up close because I'm not sure if the beginners understand. You can tell me after. Take one more breath. And then bend through both of your knees and just step your feet up to meet your hands. Find your forward fold. And then take your palms to grip opposite elbows and then just dangle your body, and we're gonna rock side to side. Rock all the way into stillness. Release your palms. Take an inhale to halfway lift. Take an exhale to fold. And then press through both feet. Inhale, lift all the way up. Circle your palms overhead. And then take your palms into your heart center. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of fluid movement. So you're gonna drop your arms. I want you to just kind of rock back and forth, letting every single thing in your body flip-flop around. Just kind of moving freely. And do this for 3, for 2, and then on 1, come into stillness. Imagine that your torso is this glass of water and it has sand in it, and it's been stirred and stirred up and up and up. And then as you drop into stillness, your sand settles and the water clears. Sand settles and the water clears. Let's take an inhale, circle the palms up towards the sky, upward mountain. And then exhale, fold forward. Take an inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale your way back down, keeping your right foot forward. Take a big step back with your left foot. Okay, give yourself a little rock forward and back. Kind of getting into the hips. And then coming into a neutral, you're gonna land your left knee onto the mat. If you have sensitive kneecaps, you can put a blankie, you can put a pillow, whatever. And then inhale, take your palms up towards the sky. This is your Anjaneyasana, your low lunge. So you're gonna press down through the big toe. Let your gaze settle on like a drishti point, which is just like a point of focus. And then try to find the middle here. I see people sometimes either being really like easygoing or really intense. And I want you to find the exact middle between these polarities. So you have this balance of effort and ease. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, come forward, land your left palm on the mat, and then inhale the right palm up towards the sky. And let's move through this twist 3 times. So exhale, lower. And then inhale, take the hand up. By the way, if the floor feels really far away from you, you can always have your hand on a book to just kind of lift it up. I will teach in the studio with yoga blocks, but I'm gonna assume most of us don't have yoga blocks. Take one more breath, hand is up. And then maybe you windmill the right palm onto the sacrum, just deepening your twist. If you want to take it into a quad stretch, go ahead. I'm not gonna teach that. And then slowly unwind the right palm back, and let's lengthen and walk the palms backwards. So you're extending over the right leg. Now, if you feel like the ground is super far away, your hands can be up on a table, can be up on a chair. And I want you to inhale, lengthen through your heart, and then exhale, hinge, and get nice and deep into that hamstring stretch. 2 more. And then take 1 more. Walk your palms forward. Tuck your back toes and lift your back knee, and then just step your right foot back to meet your left. So you're in a strong plank now. You can lower the knees onto the mat if you like. Let's push the ground away and just engage the core. Staying for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then on 1, take both knees onto the mat. Draw your triceps back in space. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale to lower. And then shift through a tabletop, and then find your way back to your down dog. Bend through the knees, gaze forward, step your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Step your toe mounds together, bend through the knees, sit back into a chair. When you land in your chair, see if you can find the middle. Effort and ease and strength and surrender. And as your body begins to find the middle, the mind begins to find the present moment. 1 more breath in, and then exhale it forward. Inhale to half lift. And then exhale your way back down. We're taking the opposite side. So you're taking a big step back with your right foot. Do your rocks forward and back. Get into your hip. Say hello. And then slowly just land your right knee. Taking an inhale, both palms up towards the sky. So settle your gaze. Push through the left big toe. Give it 3, and give it 2, and then give it 1. Come all the way forward, and then we'll take it into those twists. So inhaling the left palm up, and then exhaling it back down. 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more. And once the left palm comes back, you're gonna walk your palms back, lengthen through your left leg, and then take 3 breaths. Inhale, and then exhale, hinge. 2 more. And then 1 more. Walk your palms forward, bend through the left knee, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, and then step your left foot back, finding yourself into your strong plank. And we're gonna hold here again for 5, for 4, 3, 2. On 1, you're gonna land the knees, and then slowly lower all the way down. Triceps are building strength. Lightness through your palms as you inhale and open through your chest. Exhale your way back down, and then shift through a tabletop. All right, so in your table, keep both palms, lift your right leg behind you. On your inhale, you're gonna keep the right hip level with the left, and then on your exhale, curl the right knee into the chest. Let's do 1 more just like this. Inhale, and then exhale. If you're ready to challenge your balance, lift the opposing arm, so it's left arm, right leg, and then curl in. And let's keep going like this. I want you to know that if your balance feels off, that is normal. I think a lot of us are feeling that right now. Our lives are out of whack. So don't judge yourself for it. One more breath in, one more breath out. And then just lengthen through the leg and the arm and draw the navel in and balance for 3, for 2, and then for 1, let's land the palm and land the knee. And then take the opposite side. So first start with just extending your leg and then curl the knee in. 2 more of these. And then maybe you lift the opposite arm and draw in. Keep going. Okay, after this one, lengthen everything out and hold here. Navel draws in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Land the palm and then land the knee. And let's rinse that out with a cat-cow. So inhaling into your cow, exhaling into your cat. 1 more. Come all the way back into neutral. And then just tuck your toes, lift up and back to a down dog. Bend through the knees, gaze forward, and step the feet up to meet the hands. Take an inhale to halfway lift. Take an exhale, fold. And then inhale, come all the way up to stand, circling the palms overhead. Exhale your palms into heart center. All right, so we're gonna enter into a standing flow. It's gonna be similar to the poses we did last week. Actually, I'll just stay on this side of my chair here. So you're gonna keep your right foot forward, step your left foot back. So your left foot is at a 45-degree angle, okay? If you can imagine that there's a line down the center of your mat, your right foot's on one side of that line and your left foot is on the other side, okay? So in this pose, your hips are squared towards the front of your mat and your right palms are gonna reach your both palms are gonna reach up overhead. All right, so you have an extension through your arms, get a softness through your shoulders. Settle your gaze and take some deep breaths. Stay here for 1 more inhale. Stay for 1 more exhale. And then we're gonna take a little bit of a deep hamstring stretch, okay? So keep your left leg as it is, lengthen through your right leg, all right? So right foot stays exactly where it is, you just lengthen through the leg. As you breathe in, you're gonna reach your arms up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, reach the palms forward. And if you want, your hands can be on a table or on a chair or on the side of your couch, whatever. And if you do have space, I know we do have some 30-day challengers. We have some people that do every single yoga class at this studio. And if that's you, maybe you can reach all the way towards the mat. It's important that you have a slight micro bend in the right knee, okay? Your leg does not need to be perfectly straight. If you try to have it perfectly straight, you're gonna injure yourself. So please have a little bit of a bend in the knee. And move to an edge where there's like a slight discomfort and just space for growth. All right, let's stay for 1 more breath. And then you're gonna bend through your right leg, shift weight off of your left foot, and then come into a Virabhadrasana 3, a warrior 3. So you might be fine with your hands at heart center. Maybe your hands are on the hips. A chair for stability is awesome if your balance feels off. Root through your big toe, settle your gaze on one spot, make a long line from the crown of your head all the way through the sole of your foot. And know that if you fall, you are still a good person. Now let's take 1 more breath. And then bend through your right knee, land the left foot and tilt all the way up into warrior two. So in your warrior two, right heel intersects with left inner arch and your arms are extending and you're settling your gaze over the right fingertips. And then just soften through your shoulders. As the body finds the middle, the mind finds the moment. And is there wisdom in the middle? Is there wisdom in the present moment? Let's take a breath in and reverse the warrior. And then exhale to your warrior two. Taking 3 more breaths like this. Inhale. And then exhale. 2 more. One more. Come all the way up. Lengthen through your right leg. Hinge forward. Right arm clocks alongside right shin. Maybe your hand is on a chair or it's beside you. Man, I am growing to love this yoga class. I haven't taught beginners yoga in like, maybe ever. The first time I ever taught a beginner's yoga class, I had been teaching for like 3 years, or sorry, not 3 years, like 3 weeks. And I remember just having like a mild panic as I was teaching because it's so much easier to teach advanced students, right? Because they've learned and they have muscle memory, and to teach beginners, you need to know like so many details. Anyway, so after that experience, I like never taught a beginner's class again. But it's fun to go back to basics, hey? Okay, if you wanna stay in Trikonasana, stay. And if you wanna come into your half moon, your Ardha Chandrasana, you're gonna bring your your left hip to stack on your right. I had a private yoga client for a long time who was very wobbly. He was about 70 years old. He was my best friend in Kuwait. And we did this pose every time right against the wall, just like this. Okay, so if you're feeling wobbly, the wall is an awesome support. Actually, I've been trying to get him to join my Zoom classes. He's in Lebanon, but his eye doctor, he's 70, his eye doctor says he can't be looking at the computer so much. Stay for 1 more breath. And then bend through the right knee and tilt all the way up, and you're gonna turn all 10 toes to face the side wall, and then take a breath in with your spine lengthening, and then exhale your way forward. And take your palms to opposite elbows and just soften. You can rock from side to side, finding your nice forward fold. And then release your grip. Take an inhale to half lift, and then press the palms onto the hips and come all the way back up to stand. All right, left toes face the other side. Step your right foot in again to the 45 degrees, and we're starting first with the warrior one. So palms reach up overhead. Finding the peace of the middle, the stillness of the middle. Wisdom of the middle. And then lengthen up through your left leg. Take an inhale. And then exhale your way forward. And find yourself into that deep hamstring stretch. This is called pyramid. Know that you do not need to be reaching the ground. It's not mandatory. And then shift weight onto your left foot, bending through the left knee, finding yourself in the warrior three. So in this shape, you're making like this uppercase T with the body. Finding your balance, or not finding your balance, that's okay too. Take one more breath. And then bend through the left knee, step the right foot all the way back. Find yourself in your warrior two. Arms making one long line. See if you can soften your shoulders. The biggest thing I see here is people hunching up their shoulders. See if you can relax them, give them some ease. And then inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale up to the warrior two. 3 more. Two more. And then one more. Lengthen through your left leg. Shorten your stance a little bit. And then hinge your body into the Trikonasana, the triangle on this side. Let's start to tilt weight onto our left foot and left fingertips and find your way up into the half moon, and know that you can hold onto a chair. You can be up against the wall, or you can not do this pose at all. Stay for one more breath. And then just come all the way up to stand. All right, so last week you guys complained that I kept you in goddess pose for a really long time. So we're not going to do goddess. We're going to do something more fun, hopefully. So we have learned eagle arms last week, and we're going to take our full eagle pose. So eagle arms is the one where you open your arms in cactus, and then you're going to weave your right upper arm underneath your left. Okay, so you're finding this crisscross. You can grip opposite shoulders if your shoulders are tight, or you might weave the arms together and like high five your hands, okay? Now, this is how your arms look, okay? So, right leg is gonna lift up and it's gonna crisscross over the left thigh, bend through the left knee to sit your hips down a lot, and then maybe you can hook the toes behind the ankles. See, isn't this more fun? Isn't this awesome? So you're all twisted up in this bind. When we attach different body parts together in yoga, it's called a bind. And binds serve different purposes. They help us get deeper into poses. They make us experience poses differently. I really like the metaphor that binds have for the rest of our life, which is that we all find ways to like tie ourselves up into beliefs about ourselves, commitments that don't sit well with us, stories. Take one more breath, you're doing awesome. And then unwind and come all the way up. Take your palms into heart center. So the binds are like a direct reflection of that. And it's when we untie and when we release these binds, it's when we find the most freedom. Let's take it into the opposite side now. So you are going to wrap your left arm underneath your right. And if that feels like you've done that side before, then do the other side. You can grip opposite shoulders or weave the arms together. Bend through the knees, sit back, and then cross your left thigh over top of the right. My dad said to me that he suggested I go through these classes and fix all of the times that I mix up my rights and lefts. I mean, he has a point for like professionalism, but I also think it's like a key part of my personality. That I mess up my rights and lefts all the time. It's part of what makes me human. Let's stay here for one more breath. Maybe if I become like more famous than these Zoom classes, maybe I'll hire someone to edit out all my mistakes. Take one more breath. Got it. And then unwind, take a big breath in, feel the release from the bind, and then gather up all this energy, connect your palms into your heart center and feel the thumbs into your heartbeat. Breath in, and then a breath out. Okay, simpler balance pose. Left foot is your root, right toes. Open your knee to the side, plant your right foot to the inside of the left leg. If you want to be against the wall or hold on to a chair, go ahead. And then you can choose what you're doing with your arms. Your hands can be planted at heart center. You can be on your hips. So when we do this pose, we have this tendency to get really lazy and our left hip kind of juts out. Whoa. And so see if you can engage that left leg. Notice the difference, like this is lazy and then this is engaged. Okay, so I'm just drawing that energy in and I'm lengthening through the spine. And then take one more breath. And then land your right foot. And we'll come into tree on the opposite side. Take one more breath. And then release that. Coming back to the front of your mat, take an inhale, hands up towards the sky. Take an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and we're gonna step all the way back to a down dog. And if you would like to take one more vinyasa, you know what I'm talking about, go ahead. And if you're good, we're just gonna land onto the knees. Shift the feet to one side, sit the hips back. And then wiggle all the way so that we're on the spine. So we'll take a back bend bridge pose. Your hands are going to be pressing into the mat, your feet are pressing into the mat, you're lifting the hips up. And then you can either keep your arms like this, or you can roll your shoulder blades under, interlacing the palms, the pinky side is pressing down. Now, key things that you'll see in this pose, your feet should be directly underneath the ankles, or sorry, underneath the knees. Sometimes you see people too close, sometimes you see people too far. See if you can create that 90-degree, like stacking sensation. And then I want you to imagine that you're like holding a yoga block in between your thighs. So you're keeping those legs lined up. And then give it one more breath. And then release your grip. And then slowly lower each and every vertebrae, one at a time, down on the mat. Breath in and then breath out. One more breath in and breath out. Take your right foot, cross the ankle over the left thigh, push your right palm into your right thigh. Now either stay here, or maybe you lift the foot off, interlacing the palms on the left thigh or the left shin. If you took the guest teacher's class yesterday with Jean, she had an amazing metaphor for the hips. She said the hips are like your junk drawer, your emotional junk drawer, where you store a lot of your stuff. And so it's really natural when beginners come to yoga and they stretch and open through the hip, they start to feel all that stuff. It starts to rise up. I am a big subscriber to the belief that we carry our emotions within our physical body. And I believe in that, not just from my own experiences in yoga, but from my experiences teaching yoga and seeing how, you know, when we come into hip opening poses, like how many times have I had a student cry in these poses? It happens more often than you'd think. Let's take one more breath and then release the feet and then switch the opposite way. So just know that like we are all going through a tough experience right now. And I mean, we have that to deal with, plus all of our old regular crap, hey? So no matter what you're feeling or no matter what's coming up, don't feel like there's something wrong with you. Like I had a friend who ran out of my class because she was so embarrassed that she cried. And just want you to know that if you're feeling things in yoga, you're not the only person. You're not the first person that's ever experienced that. Just let yourself feel whatever you're feeling. Take one more breath. And then just release the right foot, release the left foot. Open your arms into cactus arms. You're gonna take the knees into the chest and drop the knees over to the right. And then take your gaze over to the left. And then come all the way through center. And then take your knees the opposite way, so over to the left, and your gaze goes over to the right. All right, we're gonna finish our class with Viparita Karani, which is like the dessert. It's legs up the wall. If you've done restorative with me, you know how this one goes. First of all, if you don't have a chair or a wall or something around you, you can also just lift your legs up to the sky. This is the same pose, but with some support, it's just a little bit more lazy, which is nice. If you have a chair, you can just take your feet and put them on the chair like this, or couch or whatever. If you have to move off your yoga mat, that's okay. And if you do have a wall, you're gonna scooch your hip. Actually, I'm gonna get some cushions. Wake up the cat when I do that, sorry, princess. I'm gonna put cushions underneath my back just because it's like quite cold to be directly on the floor. And you're gonna snuggle your hip up and then rest your heels on the wall. If you're comfortable with it, place your palms on your navel. And so this yoga pose, it's one of my all-time favorite poses. The reason why I don't teach it very often in my studio classes is because we don't really have good walls for this. All of our walls of the room have like ballet bars and windows with sills. So there isn't really a good place to put your legs on the wall. Don't want to shatter the mirrors. So I'm loving these classes because we have a real opportunity to practice it. And I love this pose for a few reasons. The first is it reverses the blood flow. So normally throughout the day, we're seated or we're standing and the blood flow goes to your feet and your legs. And when we do this pose, Viparita Karani, we're reversing that and the blood is going back to the head and the heart. One of my yoga teachers told me many years ago that this pose is supposed to boost your mood. I don't know if that's true or if it's just a placebo effect for me now, but it's one of my go-to poses if I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed. I come back here. So you can keep this one in your toolkit. And we're just gonna stay here for like a couple more breaths. And then I'm gonna give you an option. If you're enjoying this legs up the wall, feel free to stay. If you want to move directly into a traditional Shavasana, feel free to go there. Or take any other pose, really. And I'm going to come forward and take a seated meditation. So Lao Tzu, he said that the master sticks to her tools. And this is the essence of Abhyasa, which means practice in Sanskrit. My teacher Rolf wrote, "We get the job, we don't get the job. We get married, we don't get married. Our family is well, our family is troubled. Our friends flourish, our friends founder. Our demons are melting away, our demons are at the door. We wake up with a love of life. We wake up with free-floating anxiety. We feel worthy of the love in our life. We feel unworthy of the love in our life. And through it all, we come back. We come back to the yoga mat. We return to the meditation cushion. We do the next right thing. My teacher wrote, "When I first got sober, I was astounded to hear about homeless people who drank alcohol every day for years. And I did not understand how they could afford it. And what I failed to realize is the power of making something a priority. And if drinking is your priority, you're going to find a way to do it, whether you have a roof over your head or not." By choosing to practice yoga, we are saying that our spiritual growth is important to us. We are making it a priority. Our practice is a shelter we build for our spiritual selves. And it's the work that we do to safeguard and support the possibility of spiritual growth. The winds of life will constantly wear away at this shelter. But if we stick to our tools, like the master sticks to her tools, the shelter will hold. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting, moment to arrive. Just give your fingers and your toes a little wiggle. If you're in seated meditation, just stay. If you're on your back or in any other pose, just take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And within this hug, I'll invite you to say to yourself, I love this body. I love this mind. And I love this spirit. Each and every day. Let's slowly all make our way up. Taking our palms at our heart center. Lengthening through the spine and softening the shoulders. And if you would like to join me in an Om sound, we're going to inhale and then exhale, and then inhale through to make an Om. Okay, so take a breath in, and then a breath out, and then a breath in. We close with an intention, ancient intention, but the original intention was passed from Patanjali or whoever taught Patanjali all the way through students and teachers of yoga through thousands of years. And it's that our yoga practice remain steady and our efforts remain continuous. And that our yoga not only serves and benefits ourselves, but all of the beings in our life around us. May all beings be happy and be healthy and be free. And may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. Om Shanti 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 Peace. Namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice.